I'm Isaac, the host that will lose their train of thought about every 5 seconds.
If you also want to start a podcast like Milk and Lettuce, maybe make one even more refined than I do, I highly recommend going to anchor.fm. It's free. You do not need to pay them anything. You can have them publish it. They do have it on Apple, Google, Spotify, and others. You can just hit auto distribute and let them take care of the rest. That's what I did. That way I don't have to worry about any of all that. Yeah, words can be hard. But yeah, it's totally free. You can make money. There's no minimum listenership required. There's many different tools all right there. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And please send me your podcasts. I would love to listen to them. Thank you so much. Thank you to you, the listener, and to Anchor FM for being the new home to Milk and Lettuce. I really dislike how loud my recording bot thing is. It goes, din now recording. So unfortunately, today's episode is not going to be a lighthearted-ish episode. This isn't one where I kind of am like, hey, this is what I've been dealing with lately. Hooray! No, this is something I've dealt with a long time. Not myself having this diagnosis, and I've already done an episode on this particular thing. So yeah, I say a lot. Yes, unfortunately, today is kind of heavy. Again, we are talking about narcissistic personality disorder. So, I was talking with a friend recently, and they're having issues with somebody, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, it kind of sounds familiar. So that's why I decided I'm going to do this topic now, again. I know I've already done it, but I'm gonna get a little more into the nitty gritty of narcissism. So yeah. But yeah, I've said it before that I live with somebody who is a narcissist. So a lot of these traits and tactics, I'm pretty familiar with. And I recently watched a series on TikTok by The Nitty Gritty. I will post his link in the description of both the TikTok and the YouTube, as I am now on YouTube. Finally, I guess, it was suggested to me by a couple people actually, and it's like, I just talk. I don't go in front of a camera. So I'm not really sure about that. Yikes. But yeah, I'm gonna go through what the nitty gritty talked about in his series on TikTok. And I highly suggest you check it out. He goes into depth on all of these a lot more than I'm going to. I'm just gonna kind of use what he said and build off of it with my own experience. And I really hope that, I guess by listening to this, that you have a more clearer understanding, I guess. I just want people to understand a lot of these and be able to identify these issues. So first I'm going to go through the 9 traits of NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder, and then after that we will go through some tactics. And again, this is primarily based on the nitty-gritty from TikTok, and I will have his channel linked, as well as Dr. Ramani on Facebook. He also mentioned that creator. I will have her channel linked as well. I am not affiliated with either of these individuals, and if for whatever reason you do not agree with what I say, again, full disclosure, I am not affiliated with them, and I do not suggest you send them any hate whatsoever. And if you feel the need to attack somebody because you don't agree with them, that is personally, in my honest opinion, that is to me a personal issue that I think you need to address within yourself. So again, please do not direct any hate towards anybody just because you do not agree with them, or even to me. If you dislike what I say, then talk to me. I have my email address on my page. Let's have a talk. Let's be adults about it. I don't want to play games, sweetheart. I really don't. Anyway, that said, let's just get into it, I guess. So, according to the DSM-5, I talked about this in a previous episode. In order to be diagnosed, you must have specific traits of that illness, as well as have it present. I just totally blanked. Oh, wow. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Anyway, it must present itself for X amount of time. So with NPD, you have to show 5 to 6 traits. And a lot of these are very similar, like not like these per se, but I'm saying like the X amount of traits per thing. Addiction is very similar. I dropped out due to unforeseen circumstances that I will not get into here. But I was going to college for substance abuse counseling and treatment. So yeah, I wanted to help people primarily who have lost their families due to their addiction in order to, help bring awareness to someone's issues and addiction and have them get their kids back, It's unfortunate that it happens, but I may actually do a separate episode about that, just because I feel like there's so much there. And quite honestly, I still have my books too, so we could do a little series about that even, So anyway, there's 9 traits to narcissistic personality disorder. The first of which is grandiosity, which is an unrealistic sense of superiority characterized by a sustained view of oneself as better than others, which is expressed by disdainfully. I miswrote. But basically, they will belittle people. They are better than everybody. Everyone else is absolutely beneath them. That's their grandiosity. Just basically, they are best. They are better than everybody. Absolute best. The second trait is exploitation. They will manipulate people for their own personal gain. Whether it be like their feelings. Some people may use their own power if they are your manager or your boss, your parent, your teacher. A lot of them will hold that above you and exploit you to get what they want. The third trait is envy. Narcissistic envy comes from extreme insecurity and leads to explosions of rage. And it's also bullying or devaluing others. And we'll get more into devaluation later. But yeah, envy, it's basically just an extreme form of jealousy. Jealousy is somewhat healthy to an extent, but it can develop into envy when it becomes a little more, what's the word? I want to say problematic. That's not it. Yeah, it's just more of an extreme jealousy. The fourth trait is a sense of entitlement. They feel they deserve something because of whatever reason. It can just be because, I had a rough childhood, so I deserve nice things. And it's like, I'll admit I'm kind of guilty of it a little bit, of that particular thing. I like having nice things because I'm an adult. I can now acquire these things on my own. I don't need a parent or a guardian or whatever. I can just buy these things with my own money as an adult because I didn't have these things when I was a child. Do I think that I deserve them because of my childhood? No. I deserve them because of my work towards it. You see, there's a difference between deserving something genuinely, but feeling that other people owe you something. Nobody owes you anything. You know, if you want to treat yourself because of whatever reason, you treat your fucking self. You deserve that. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to have nice things. But you do not deserve to have respect just because of who you are. You do need to earn respect. Nobody owes it to you. You are not owed nice things, respect, power, wealth, what have you. If you earn it, you're goddamn right, you deserve that. So again, a sense of entitlement is not genuinely deserving of whatever. You are not entitled to something. If you earn it, you deserve it, but it is not you are not entitled to have it. The fifth is a preoccupation with success and power, infatuation with their ideals. Perfection equals success, absolute control over every situation. This can lead to victims. They should be thankful. They should be thankful to have that person in their life. They should be thankful to have someone of such high regard and importance in their life. You know, narcs blame the whole world for their suffering if their idea of perfect progress, shush Discord, it cannot be obtained. Because again, perfection means success. They are not successful if that progress is not perfect, which can be problematic in itself, obviously, because not everything is perfect. You know, we'll run into hiccups, bumps in the road, and some things take time. A narcissist will generally not accept that things take time. It has to be immediate. There must be immediate perfection and proof of success. And if it is not perfect immediately, it's somebody else's fault. Everything will never be their fault, and we'll get into that more so in a bit here. But the sixth trait of NPD is the belief of being unique. And it is okay to feel like you're unique. There's nothing wrong with that. As with any of this, if again, you have to have 5 to 6 parts of what makes NPD. Having 1 or 2 of these traits does not make you a narcissist. It's not enough. But the belief of being unique to a narcissist is extreme. A lot of these are going to be taken to the extreme with a narcissist, which helps to lead into that, that being a personality disorder instead of just, just being a normal functioning member of society. I think a lot of people feel like they're unique, but with a narcissist, absolutely nobody is like them. And to give you a very good example of this, Grim, I call him Grim, my partner. Every time he meets people, because he'll find one person who's somewhat like him, but eventually he will detach from that person because they are not enough like him. He wants to find somebody who's exactly like him, which I will get into later too. That also kind of falls into mirroring. But not everyone is going to be like you, and that is okay. What makes someone unique is their likes, their interests, their thoughts and ideals, their finances and education, their upbringing. All of that is not going to be the exact same to somebody else, and that's what makes you unique. Nobody is the same person. We are not the exact same. That's just not how it is. Just because you and your coworker, you like the same music, you have similar interests in vehicles, you're not the same to the personality. You are not, you may not have similar upbringing. Maybe they've been working there longer and make more an hour than you. All of these things lead to one being unique from others. So, as much as Grim tries to find somebody who's exactly like him, the only one who is him. And he gets mad when he can't find somebody exactly like him. But the thing with narcissists is they also thrive in being unique. And he does thrive on knowing that nobody's had the same upbringing as him. Nobody's had to deal drugs like that, like he has. And it's like, okay, well, there are people like that, and there are people who have done it longer or for different reasons. You're not unique in that sense. That does not make you unique just because you had to deal drugs for X reason, or that your family was poor for X reason. There's a lot of people who come from poorer families. There's a lot of people who come from poorer families and had to deal drugs. That does not make you unique in and of itself. And that is such a weird thing to want to find and develop a friendship on. Honestly. You don't do that anymore, so that's not something you should be touting around. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyway. Arrogance and domineering is the 7th trait. Arrogance is defined as an attitude of superiority manifested in an overbearing manner or presumptuous claims or assumptions, thinking you're better than others, thinking you're better so that others need to follow your ways. And no, fun fact about me, I cannot do multiplication in the way that everyone else does. I don't know why. I was taught the lattice method, and that is the method I use to this day. And if you don't know what the lattice method is, imagine 18 times 7. You would draw a box, like a rectangle. You'd have 2 squares, because you have the 1 and the 8, and then you have the 7, because 18 times 7, so 1 and 8, and then 7. You draw a downward to your left slash through those boxes, out of the boxes, and then you would do like 1 times 7, 8 times 7, and you would add through the diagonal line like all of those numbers. So like 1 times 7, you'd have the 1, because you'd have a 0 for that first box, and then 7 plus, I'm not doing math right now, whatever 8 times 7 is. Yeah, so I'm kind of dumb. I used to know my math table. I'm so sorry. It's not something I use on a day-to-day basis. Most of my jobs were retail settings or assisted living. You don't need to do math, really. You have the till does your math. And quite frankly, the only numbers I used in the assisted living place were vitals. And obviously my schedule, as with any job, but I never really had to do math, so I'm sorry if I forgot math. Anyway, yeah, so so the reason I brought up the lattice method, I had a teacher. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who's trying to contact me. Nobody. I posted a TikTok earlier. It's getting likes still. It's honestly kind of annoying at this point because it's almost 1 a.m. Anyway, so yeah, I had a teacher who was like, you can't do math that way. You have to do it the way I'm doing it. It's like, I don't know that way. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the only way I know how to multiply. So it's like, your way is not better just because that's the way you want to do it. My way isn't better just because that's the way I want to do it. It's just the way I know how to do it. We're getting the same answer. So why does it matter how it looks to get to that answer? So that is an example of making people want to follow your ways. I know better, so do it my way. No. Hell, even my most absolute previous job was Subway. I learned things from people who worked there less than me. I learned things from people I was training. It's like, if you have a better way of doing it, maybe it's more proficient. I would love to know. I would love to learn. That's just me. Not everybody's that way. Some people and some jobs are, nope, you have to do it this exact way. Even if your way's faster, your way is cleaner, whatever. You have to do it this way. It's like, yeah, sometimes you can't, can't change it. Also, confidence is believing in yourself Whereas arrogance is expecting others to believe in you as well. You can be confident in yourself, but that doesn't mean that other people have to believe in you, you know? So, thinking like, just imagine, I guess this is a very basic example. You're going to pass this test. You're definitely going to pass this test. You've done so much studying. You've been, you haven't been doing great in this class. So you buckled down and studied for your final. You're confident in yourself that you're going to pass it. Arrogance is believing that other people should also be confident for you. They might think you might fail based on your previous grades in the class. Arrogance is forcing them to believe in you, forcing them to believe you're gonna pass, but you might not pass. Still, maybe you didn't study for things exactly on the quiz. Again, very, very basic example, but I think you get the picture. I hope so. The 8th trait of narcissistic personality disorder is excessive need for admiration, and a lot of us know what this is. Chances are, if you're listening to me right now, you know or have known somebody who was a narcissist. Notice that my narcissist video got a lot of listens compared to most of my videos. I've done 2 anime related things, neither of which did very well, but I started this podcast for me, okay? If I want to talk about anime, I might talk about anime. It's my podcast. Sorry. Anyway, excessive need for admiration. The need for others to constantly admire them so they feel better about themselves. Because they can't do so on their own. Narcissists feed on compliments. They feed on people looking up to them and believing in them. So that excessive feeling, that excessive need for admiration. Thank you, computer. Appreciate knowing it's exactly 1 o'clock now. Much obliged. I lost my remote because ADHD. I had it, I lost it, and I don't know. I had it when I went to sleep. I woke up and it's gone. So I don't know where it is. I cannot adjust my speakers. So sorry. And what really sucks is this might be going on until the next time announcement. Anyway, yes. And another thing I will be getting into later is narcissistic supply. They need that feeling that they're better than people. So they seek that admiration and they need that admiration. The last trait is a lack of empathy. Now, there's different kinds of empathy and they come from different parts of the brain. A narcissist might still feel empathy. My bad. They might still empathize with, their pets, or maybe a hurt child. And having a lack of empathy, despite what some people will tell you, does not mean that you have X personality disorder. I myself do not have a personality disorder. Can't speak. But I do find it difficult to empathize with some people. A lot of people. I don't like seeing hurt animals, and I do not like, there's this child from TikTok, and I'm gonna respect her family. They are planning to delete their family's account from TikTok due to the passing of this child. So I'm not gonna name her or the channel, but she was a very sweet girl. She passed away from cancer when her family said that they were taking her off chemo because she was just so miserable. I cried a lot, and I cried a lot earlier today because I just found out that this girl had passed away. She was young. She was younger than my middle child. So I do empathize with the family there. I have 3 children. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child. But it would be fucking devastating, honestly. And like, I feel so strong for them. I really do. And I genuinely do not know what to say about that, because I know they're hurting. I hurt for them. So I can empathize with that. But honestly, a lot of times I do struggle with it myself. And, empathizing is, thinking, feeling, imagining ourselves into the inner life of another person. Again, that is a good example of empathy. I have not lost a child, so I do not know firsthand. That would be sympathy. Empathy is, like I said, being able to understand that somebody is hurt because they lost their child. Narcissists would just be like, okay, well, that sucks. Something like that. And it's like, you don't get it, do you? And I've had this sort of discussion with Grimm. It's like, just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean you cannot just brush it aside. Also, it is 1:05 in the morning on Independence Day. I am from Minnesota. I live in the States. So, it's our Independence Day. And you may or may not hear fireworks. I don't know if my microphone will pick it up. I do have the gain almost all the way off. But so if you hear fireworks, I apologize for that. But those were the 9 traits. And even as the Nitty Gritty had said in his TikTok series, when he talked about the traits, and I've said this before, and I will definitely say it again, your diagnosis may not look like the next person. So, perhaps one person with NPD has the grandiosity, exploiting, envy, the preoccupation with success and power, and the lack of empathy. But they don't feel the need, they don't believe that they're unique. They don't, they don't require the excessive admiration, but the next person's might, and the next person might not have the envy. They might not have the inflated self-worth. So everyone's NPD is going to be different from the next person. Because again, you do not need all of these traits. You do not need 8 or 7. You need 5 or 6. And obviously, if somebody has more, then that's one thing. So that said, now that I've gone through the 9 traits, I will continue speaking on the Nitty Gritty series. He also went on to talk about tactics. So let's get into that now, shall we?
Boys, I hope you're having a fantastic morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, when you're listening to this. Have a great